I can see the trees moving outside. I know that there's something moving them. Well, I don't, it's obviously the wind, but I can't see the wind.
Yeah.
Same limiting belief. If you want to be healthy and you're not healthy, you've made some limiting beliefs somewhere. If you want to have a relationship, you've not got a decent relationship, you're carrying back from your past, which is stopping you having that. If you want to have money, there's something from your past that's made sure you sabotage yourself, right? It's just a belief when you made a decision which became a belief that was made with insufficient information. So in NLP, we said there's no such thing as failure. There's only insufficient information.
I love that. Folks, if you don't have something yet in your life, you just don't have all the information yet.
Exactly.
And is this where, really briefly, that we can start to think about options and solutions?
NLP is all about modeling.
When you just said NLP is modeling behavior and what somebody else has, you can have it too. Well, maybe, but maybe not if you don't really want it. So don't you think the piece to that is really be clear about what you want in life?
That aligns with your values. What's most important to you in life?
This is the Grief Talk Podcast with Vonne Solis, helping you heal after loss and life's hardest hits. What if you could clear anxiety, fear, anger, guilt, and emotional overwhelm in minutes instead of managing them for years? My guest today is Dr. Yvonne Oswald. She is an international keynote speaker, master trainer of NLP and Hypnosis, and the author of Every Word Has Power, translated into 11 languages. Her new book, No More Therapists, Your Brain Has the Answer, Clear Negative Emotions in Minutes, Not Years, includes the 9 rapid release codes that she developed that are precise neurological processes that delete emotional responses so people return to clear, neutral, decisive thinking in minutes. Her approach has been called revolutionary, refreshingly practical, and astonishingly fast, yet the secret to her global impact is simple. She doesn't teach people how to cope with emotions, she teaches them how to clear emotions permanently.
Dr. Yvonne Oswald, we are calling you Dr. Yvonne throughout this episode. I am so grateful you're here. Please pop in and say hello to my audience.
Hello, everyone. Dr. Yvonne here. Really pleased to be with you today.
Yeah, audience, this is going to be jam-packed. I already introduced Dr. Yvonne as a best-selling author. She works in NLP, hypnosis. She's developed a practice. I'll let you explain that.
Yeah.
Listen, why I'm so excited is because you are a bereaved mom, Dr. Yvonne. And we have connected on that point. As I mentioned to you before I hit record, you're my first psychologist on as a bereaved parent. And in my private life, I did meet, I'm bereaved since 2005. I did meet over the years a couple of therapists who became bereaved parents. And that's how I met them in a support in one of my speaking engagements. And they both said that their therapy changed as soon as they became bereaved, and they tossed the tools out that they had been using with clients for years.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they ended up doing. And this was why I was so excited to speak with you today, because we are going to talk all about your work today, what you're doing, your latest book, techniques, tips, how you can clear emotions. We're going to be talking about the difference between managing emotions versus clearing emotions. All of the stuff that you do, I would like to frame it somewhat, which might be a little different for you in this podcast. I'm not sure, but because of our bereavement, I want to add the focus to how absolutely difficult it is to even believe we can clear emotions because of triggers and things like that. And so it might be one thing to go, oh yeah, I don't want to smoke anymore, or bite my nails, or I want to lose weight, or anything like that. But I really want to keep this in the context, because I am a grief podcast, of disciplining the mind. I know you talk about the brain is, we're able to rewire it and basically upload new programming to it. Which is, I don't know if that's the crux of your work, but certainly part of your work is teaching us how to flip our brain, our talk.
Exactly.
And so we're going to be talking all about how we can do that. And I want to get started basically asking you why you wrote the book. I'm actually curious to know actually how long it took you to write your book. And it's called, folks, No More Therapists. Your Brain Has the Answer. Clear negative emotions in minutes, not years.
100%.
Okay, and so I'm going to ask you if you're putting yourself out of business as a therapist, for goodness sake.
Happy to. I always said, Vonne, that my favorite thing would be to do with there were no more therapists. Because literally talk therapy and psychotherapy, the statistics are 38% of results after 600 sessions. It doesn't work. And it just angers it more and more embedded and more deeply in. I tried it when I was first working on myself when I was 36. And I was like, this is not nice. I'm feeling more angry than I've ever felt in my life. And I just don't want to go home and take that anger and take it out on my family.
Wow.
And hypnotherapy, hypnosis, after 6 sessions, you get 93% of results.
Wow.
NLP is one session, goodbye. And we just delete the file. It's really, really good. It's amazing stuff. If I don't know how I don't know how I got through knowing the techniques I've got and clearing them as it came up. I have no idea how people cope if they haven't got the techniques I've got.
Well, let's start with acknowledging the loss of your daughter in 2017. She was your only child, right?
Yeah. And I waited till I was 42 to have her, because I was determined to clear all my stuff before I had a child. And as it happens, it was just three hospitals completely dropped the ball. And they even said they dropped the ball. So, I got apologies from the hospital doctor, and I just said, well, what can we do about it? Can I sue or something? And he said, no. He said, we're protected. No.
Are you saying that her death could have been prevented?
Completely. She didn't go in with cancer. She went in with, the patch, the contraceptive patch.
Yeah.
She'd been on it a few years, and ever birth control patch. And apparently it delivers 60% more estrogen straight into the body without going through the liver. So they'd had a class action lawsuit against it. And, it's only available in Canada. There's no other country in the world sells it. It's been banned everywhere. And of course, she got a blood clot on her ovary, just as the other girls did, who they sued about. And the hospital didn't take it out they didn't even have an operation for 2 weeks. She was on a saline drip for 2 weeks. She was getting thinner and thinner. And I said, when are you going to do anything about it? And they were like, no, we're not. And then she passed out because she was lacking sugar. And finally they went, oh yeah, maybe we better operate. And they took her in. They just did a drain from the ovary and it clogged. She ended up back in hospital for another 2 weeks. And finally they took it out. And by the time they took it out, it was necrotic, the ovary.
Yeah.
And it completely fell and back into the cavity, and she just got everywhere was cancer. It was really not good. And
how long was that process? Like, how long did that take?
She had her ovary out in June, and then we were sent to Hamilton Hospital, and the doctor there told me she'd be dead in 2 months. And I kept her alive for 18 months, and I wish I'd believed about the Tijuana hospital, CHIPSA, because I would have gone there then. If I'd waited, I waited too long. I waited till September, and by that time, her kidneys were failed.
Holy
So they even CHIPSA hospital said we could have cleared the cancer. We can't clear it. We can't do anything about the kidneys. She's on palliative care now. So we were there 5 weeks, and she died in Mexico, and I had to bring the body back.
Wow. So that could be an episode all on its own. And I really just wanted to acknowledge your bereavement, because it makes your work so incredibly important.
Yeah. More than I realized, to be quite honest.
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I was seriously thinking about giving up about 3 months after she died. I was like, no, I can't do this anymore. I can't. And one of the ladies I know said, we booked you in with a class in New York. I'm sorry, you're coming to New York for a retreat. I'm like, no, I can't do it. She said, yes, you are. And I thought, okay, I'll do it just to see if I want to continue. And then when I got there, I realized when I worked, I don't hurt.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Really, I threw myself into it, and it was by far the light that shone saying, you know what,
Yeah.
carry on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I worked for the first 10 years as an angel healing channel. And I did other stuff too. But, I never allowed myself to go into it as a full-time practice. But then, and I'm just going to tell you, so I developed PTSD and had it diagnosed 9 years after Janaea died. And so I was dealing with all kinds of stuff that, because my daughter was a suicide, and I just got PTSD from it. And probably from the dysfunction in my childhood, to be honest. But anyway, and then it just kind of my brain snapped, and there you go. And but at any rate, and so I stopped doing that work, and then I ended up with the podcast. Okay, and that's my contribution. And so I just want to acknowledge that for those of us bereaved parents out there, there are those of us that throw ourselves into something for God knows how many years, and should the point come where you go, I'm really tired, and I'm really tired at 21 years in July. I'm kind of really tired. And so I've slowed down considerably. We've left a legacy.
Yes, exactly.
And you've left an amazing legacy. And here I am at 21 years bereaved in July. And I've wanted to talk to a psychologist who'd been bereaved as a mom.
Exactly, a psychologist. It's clinical hypnosis. So I don't.
It's clinical hypnosis, but you're
I don't do
still
thought therapy at all.
You're still my Dr. Yvonne, who's bereaved and as losing your only child. And I still have a son. So it's like my heart goes out to the parents I've met that don't have other children. And so I really want to be clear about that. And so what it makes me feel is I have to trust what you're saying, because a lot of bereaved parents that can afford it will start out in therapy and then get so discouraged.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
they
going to make it less
quit.
good. It's anchoring all the negative emotions in. When I discovered hypnosis, I did all kinds of work around my childhood. I did talk therapy, gestalt therapy, scream therapy, past life regression, you name it, I did it.
Yeah.
And a rebirth thing, I was teaching it all. And in the end, I discovered during a class, it was just a 4-day class of hypnosis. And I'd married by then and had the baby. Yeah. And I just came home and I said, in 4 days, I've done more work on myself, just sleeping, than I've done in the previous 30, 40 years. I suppose I can't believe how fabulous this stuff is.
right.
And then, of course, in 20 minutes hypnosis equals 4 hours sleep. So I'm going to send you a few MP3s. I've got lots of beautiful things, ways to get rid of things.
Wow.
And what was interesting was someone said to me, well, if you like hypnosis, you'll love NLP. I'm like, what's NLP?
Mm-hmm.
Neuro-linguistic programming. So you just rewire the brain. So if your memory is over here, I've got one particular memory here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see my daughter in the hospital dead.
Yes.
Wire that and actually think of a beautiful memory over here where we were going on a roller coaster and we were excited, and you just keep on, you do it 3 times this side and only once, so just one side that, 3 side here, you can never get back there. So when someone says to me, think about that hospital, my eyes go straight up there and think about the
roller coaster.
It neutralizes it, because you've got 300 more cells in your brain than there are people on the planet.
Yeah.
So when you rewire a memory,
Yeah.
you'll never find it again. It's lost in the brain somewhere.
Yeah. Well, for those of us, and I told you before I hit record, I was going to challenge you a little bit because as a newbie to this, I have failed at hypnosis, and I didn't do it seriously, but I did try and go on stage once with an actual international hypnotist years and years and years ago, and I couldn't even. No, it didn't work for me. But what I am
The reason it didn't work is you didn't follow instructions. The only thing that difference between stage hypnosis and normal hypnosis, because you're in and out of hypnosis every 20 seconds. It's no big. It's like when you watch TV, you're in hypnosis.
Okay, well then we need to understand hypnosis. But first of all, for our audience, let's go. Audience, please remember when Dr. Yvonne talks. And if you roll your eyes and you go, nope, I don't believe, or you're in such despair, maybe you're newly bereaved, maybe you've got other trauma you're dealing with. There are a lot of things that happen.
I was amazed that you could do every emotion in the book in 30 seconds.
Okay, me too. Yeah, so I'm eager to learn. I want to believe. I know I have a brain that always looks for danger with PTSD and not trusting and like, no. So I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest, audience.
PTSD and like, give me half an hour, I'll clear it. Oh, not today, but.
Yeah. And I may take you up on that. I absolutely may. So but I did get your book and I am curious and I am willing. And part of this audience is about being willing to let go of pain. Because a lot of people like their pain, don't you think, Dr. Yvonne?
The thing is, it becomes like a support thing. You get a lot of support. It's like people who have cancer and they get all this attention from everybody. Everyone's like, oh my God, we're praying for you. We're doing this for you. We'll help you. And then suddenly they go into remission and everybody disappears.
Yes.
And then they get the cancer back. And of course, it's called secondary gain. You get more from having the cancer than you have living without it. So you have to have a different approach to it. If you can think of, what have I got to live for? My grandchildren, leaving a legacy, making sure that I spread a difference on the planet, send out light. That get you over. Because people say to me, well, I'll start having fun and doing work on myself when I get rid of this cancer. Well, you can't do that. It's the opposite. You have to have fun to get rid of the cancer.
Exactly. But you said something so important. You have to have something to live for.
You do.
And as a bereaved parent, and again, I will say anybody else struggling, I have met a lot of people just in passing or whatever that really just don't have a whole lot to live for. There's not a heck of a lot of trailblazers in the world. And those of us that are out there and we have found something, I don't even have grandchildren. And so, but here's what I learned. You can't live for someone else, even your grandchildren. You know, a lot of people do, but it's essential. It's essential if you want to clear what you're going to teach here today and talk about. And in general, what I teach, which is just trusting, choosing to take responsibility for what's happened in this incarnation, right? Even look at it as a soul contract. Okay. I got lots of work on that. It's about the choice, I believe, and then the will and the desire to want to be free of our pain. And by the way, I'm not saying that lightly, audience, or to you, Dr. Yvonne. I'm saying that with over 2 decades now of struggling. And I do understand that pain can be comforting. And also, when we've lost a child, a lot of people may think that letting go of their pain means letting go of their love for their child. And you might want to speak to that.
People used to say to me, Yvonne, well, you shouldn't feel guilty. She'll want you to be happy. And I was like, well, give me a clue. How can I be happy?
Yes. Thank you.
I don't feel guilty about feeling happy. I would love to be happy. It's like, give me some idea of how to get there. Because you have this wall of pain before you even think about the person. That's the biggest thing I found was I had to get through layers and layers of grief, sadness, anger. I've had just thought of it. I would have to clear this wall away before I could even get to it in my head.
Yes. So audience, hear what Dr. Yvonne's saying. She's been there. If you're a bereaved parent, she is a bereaved parent. She knows the pain. She lost her only child.
We were absolutely best friends, twin sisters. It was amazing. And, she was going to be an actress, a singer. She wanted to sing her voice out to the world and help people. She was president of her sorority at the university, and she was doing mental health days with them. So, she was absolutely amazing.
And then dying from something that seems so needless.
It was not. It was totally hospital. It was doctor driven. It was not natural. It was not.
Wow.
If they'd taken the Aubrey out the first day that she arrived, she would have come on the next day.
She'd be here. And
I don't know if you want to say her name. Her name was Katie. And so, Katie, this one's for you, sweetheart. And our girls were the same age when they died, years apart, but
22.
22.
And so we do have that plus sort of our name in common.
I know, it's not interesting.
So we've kind of laughed a little bit about things we have. But anyway, so our hearts go out to all of you watching this or listening to this, and take your time to trust. You're the first therapist practitioner I'm looking at and go, I trust what you're saying. And I've got your book. I'm going to take time and read and visit it. I'm going to use whatever techniques I can, I swear to God, because you just said a few minutes ago, when people tell you to choose differently and be happy, have a joyful life, have it all. You can have it all. And by the way, I even teach some of that too. But I'm talking about that in general only because I've chosen that for myself, but it's still a daily struggle. Okay, especially around triggers. So we're not going to forget our kids. Okay, we're not going to forget our grief. And you say we live with our grief, but we just, well, this is about learning to live with our grief, not get rid of it. Correct?
You can't get over it till through it. You just have to learn to live with it.
Okay, so let's get started. I mean, we were already started, but with your work. And I just want to go back a bit and ask, so did you write No More Therapist, Your Brain Has the Answer after Katie died?
Yes. I've only written it this last year.
Was that loss, her passing, a motivating, a driving factor in you writing this book, or was it already brewing in you?
That's an interesting question, Vonne. What happened was I was doing the work I was doing to make the world a better place for her and her kids and people of her generation, right?
Mm-hmm.
The second she died, I'm like, so what am I doing the work for? What's the point?
Yeah.
I'll just give up. Total time, that's not. I was mad at God. I was mad at everybody. And then I thought, when I actually did that class in New York, I thought, you know what? I can do it for everybody else's kids. I can actually make sure that everybody else doesn't have a childhood like I had, didn't have a death like she had, didn't go through what I went through. And I was doing trainings. I was really doing a lot of work in Niagara Falls. I had a big house where I had people come to stay, and we did trainings.
Yeah.
When I came, and then 4 years later, I couldn't take it anymore because there were so many reminders of her around the house. Yeah. And I thought, you know what? I'm just selling up. I came out to the Dominican, and it's great because there are no memories of her here. She wasn't here with me. Mm-hmm. And what is interesting, though, that first year after I got here, it was almost like it was less good than being in Niagara Falls. At least I had the comfort of knowing that, she was in that place.
Yeah.
I started realizing that, you know what? I have to have a whole different life for myself. And what I did is I thought, I'm going to do maybe 20, 30 years more of training people. How many people can I train in that time? Not that many. It's not going to make a world difference. So I thought, what about if I write a book and put every fast moving technique in NLP and hypnosis in it? Mm-hmm. So I've got 37 links to videos on how to do the techniques, that how to listen to MP3s on prosperity and on, grief and all the rest of it. And the 9 rapid release codes are codes that I made up from the NLP.
Okay.
And literally, they clear everything. So that first, I've done a few chapters, 5 chapters, I think, on explaining how the brain works, explaining what happiness is, etc. And then that first 7 days is teaching you the 7 techniques that are left over, so one a day. Okay. By the time you've done those, you've got the next 7 days, which is a challenge 7 days, and you'll use all those techniques every single day. Mm-hmm. So you'll, if you have a little energy, a little negative emotion coming up like frustration or sadness, you can clear it fast. Mm-hmm. If it's big, like a childhood issue that's recurring or remembering PTSD experience with your loved one dying, we can do it with this. I call it the cinema model. It's actually a phasphobia model. Mm-hmm. And I made it into a really fast-moving script that you can either read into your phone and put the negative emotions in. You just, where it says brackets, it says put negative emotions here, and you just read the negative emotions in and clear it completely. And you test it afterwards. So you'll test beforehand where's the negative emotion in my body, what incident was it, and then clear it with the cinema model, and it's completely neutral.
Yeah, I saw you. I watched one of your YouTubes, and I'll just say this. I think it was on the one with somebody called a global guru. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were doing that cinema thing, that cinema when you're watching yourself, right? Watching yourself on the screen. And then you started going really fast on the script. And then my brain just went, okay, I can't do this.
That's
so we're
also,
no,
you remember Etch-a-Sketch? You're old enough to remember Etch-a-Sketch, right?
I do. Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah.
That's exactly why we do that, because it has to be faster than your conscious mind can keep up. If your conscious mind can understand it, it's no use to me. We have to change. All change and all learning occurs at the unconscious level. So talking about it gives you analyzing it, gives you understanding it. It doesn't change anything; it just makes it less good.
So I just want to clarify as we go through this. So is it anybody that buys your book, gets your book, can have access to these visual meditations or techniques? And I know we'll get to it at the end when we talk about your resources, but you also offer 2-hour, 4-hour sessions and then custom packages or something is that for people to work individually with you, like by Zoom or something?
Yes, by Zoom. And what's beautiful about it is the story doesn't matter, Vonne. It has no bearing on the events, right?
Oh, okay.
The only thing that has bearing is the emotional baggage it leaves behind, the emotional charge.
Yeah. Okay.
So I get people to send me 3 pages of everything that's not worked in life since they were born or before they were born. And I get them to send it to me.
Mm-hmm.
I want the story. I don't want anything to have to talk about the story in the session.
Yeah.
What I do is I go through it. The lady with last week was like 7 pages.
Uh-huh.
And she had 3 or 4 major events like sexual abuse and, a father being abusive or whatever it was. And, a husband this and all the rest of it. And I just took those 4 events and cleared them up within an hour. And she was just like, I can't believe this. It's completely neutral.
Wow.
And that's the whole idea is the first 7 days is learning the techniques. Second 7 days is doing the techniques every day. You'll clear a big event. And then a few days later, you may go, oh, I feel sad again. It mustn't have worked. You're not sad about anything to do with that event. It would be something else that's come up. So when you use NLP, it's permanent, it's deleted for good ever.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last 7 days is the most important because it's goal setting.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have something to look forward to, you're not going to clear out your anxiety and worry. So you've got anger, sadness, fear, guilt in your body, held in your body.
Mm-hmm.
And then anxiety and worry are future-based events. They're not complete. So your unconscious mind isn't going to let them go.
Mm-hmm.
We have a different technique. So we do a lot of lots of there's little quizzes, there's lots of exercises to do.
Yeah.
Get you into the place where you've got your GPS set for a year ahead so that you know exactly where you're going and exactly how you feel when you'll get there. And it takes you out of the present into the future.
So honest to goodness, so I just want to really be clear because I'm kind of sitting here, as they would like to say in England, gobsmacked. So basically your book teaches all of this as if we were sitting with you as our therapist.
Yes, exactly. I always do. And with the NLP particularly, I was taught it, tell the client to do this, tell the client to do that.
Yeah.
Then when teaching NLP or hypnosis, I just say, read the script. I'll demo it. And then I'll say to them, you just read the script to the see your part.
Right.
And 10 minutes later, they'll go, it worked. I'm like, yes, I know. I scripted it well.
Wow.
They just literally read the script. And the same in the book is you've got a script to read. You read it into your phone, you record it and then listen back.
Okay.
It will be gone.
So this sounds a lot to me like a lot of the work in healing or erasing or what's the right word we should use? Clearing.
I usually say delete.
Deleting a lot.
It's not just clearing a bit, it's deleting the whole file.
Wow. So deleting the whole file, the story doesn't matter, but whatever, it's a lot. It sounds like a lot of it is happening in the subconscious, right?
It's all the subconscious. What happens when you have a child dying or anybody dying? You have a PTSD experience and you go back to it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about that is your unconscious mind messaging you saying, is the danger over? Are we going to die or is it okay now?
Yeah.
So it's it bigger and bigger and bigger until you finally do something about it. You can have a good scream or, rage about it. It clears the top layer off, but it doesn't clear the root cause.
No.
Things like EFT, it doesn't go to root cause. It's going to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
EMDR is very nice, but it's super slow. I like EMDR. I don't like the tapping at all. It's okay for an occasional daily thing, but not for big things for sure. It's going to bring the big things to the surface to be cleared. And of course, we don't want to have to sit there dealing with it without any help.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So I want to be clear again, because if it feels for me, I'm new to this, right? So if for me, and I'm with the audience, if they've never seen you before and they've never heard of NLP, they will have heard of hypnosis. So bear with me. I'm double checking that I'm hearing what you're saying. So most, if not all of your work is in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and hypnosis. Is that correct? Right?
And all my own inventions, because I've got lots of I've been nominated for a Visionary Award for Mind Magic, and I've lots and lots of awards from it.
So your own inventions, of which is the 9 codes? Are they called the 9 codes?
9 codes are mainly from NLP. a lot of the things I invented were things that I had to do to get through my childhood. So I didn't realize I was actually doing NLP as a kid and as a teenager. I would wake up feeling depressed and I would just say, okay, I'm going to lie here and be depressed for a minute. And then I'm going to get up. I'm going to have a cup of coffee. About 10:30, I won't be depressed anymore. And I get up, have the cup of coffee, and then do the rest of the day. And I would instruct my unconscious mind, thank you for letting me know. We'll deal with it later. It was the same as when I was teaching in my 20s. I could cry for 3 days in my 20s because I had such a not good childhood. It was very abusive. My sister died when I was 12, and my father said, oh, I wish you died instead of her.
Oh.
You know, very, very, I was beaten every day by father and mother. And I didn't realize everybody else wasn't going through all this, right? So I was like cheerful all the time and happy, and nobody knew what was going on underneath. And when I got teaching, I literally got to the point where I'd wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh no, we're not doing a 3-day crying jack. This is not happening. So I would say, thank you for letting me know. 9 o'clock tonight, you can let the tears flow. I'll be playing music and you can let the tears flow. Right now, I need to do the day's work. Stop. And it would actually just go like that. And then 9 o'clock that night, I'd put the record play on, the old-fashioned tape recorders.
I do.
And I had every sad song I could think of on it. And I go, oh, I've got no boyfriend, I'm alone. And I just let myself get into it for an hour. And then it only happened a couple of times that I could manage an hour. By the time I got to like three or four times, I was like, an hour? Do I have to do this for an hour? It's not going to work. So in the end, it went down to half an hour, then 20 minutes, and then it was just about a 5-minute cry, and it was done. So it's acknowledging to your unconscious mind that you're accepting the message it's giving you. It's a servo mechanism. So it's giving you messages to say, I don't feel safe here. It reminds me of when we were 3. Are we okay?
Yeah.
So people go, I can't talk to you. I'm so depressed. I made you depressed because I wanted you to talk to me.
Oh, okay. So I've got a couple questions. So how is NLP different from positive self-talk?
Positive self-talk doesn't work because you're using your conscious mind.
Okay.
Mind. So you can say, I am rich, I am wealthy, I am happy.
Yeah.
You can hear the voice in your head say, you're not.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That doesn't work, right?
We're trying to talk ourselves into the belief,
It's
right?
get into a trance of some kind. And usually, when you're watching TV, you're in trance. When you're reading a book, you're in trance. When you're thinking about your next vacation, you're in trance. When you're driving, you're in trance. You set off driving a long distance journey. And you start, and as you start off, all the emotions start coming up, and it's like, on the right, can you go a bit faster? Oh my gosh, I can't believe this traffic. Blah, blah, blah. 2 hours later, you're like, I'm walking on sunshine. Ooh, ooh. Because what happens is the traffic going past actually releases the emotions. It's actually movement. Your emotions. We work with the eyes a lot with NLP. So when you're thinking of a negative event, your eyes may be looking here, you may be looking down there. As long as you can get the eyes looking in a different place, you can clear the whole event completely.
So taking the traffic example, are you saying in NLP? I know you've talked a lot about it, and when I listen back to this and edit it, I'm going to hear it. When I read your book, I'm going to understand more. But just sort of on a very surface level, and I know it was discovered in the 80s by 2 men,
John Grinder and Richard Bandler.
in 1985. I'm just curious, what, in the simplest of terms, what is NLP?
What Richard Bandler and John Grinder did, Bandler was Grinder's student. He was at university and he said, you know what? Why is it that some people do things magnificently and produce the same result every time? And why is it that someone else does the same thing and doesn't produce the same result? What's the difference? And they realized that someone like Milton Erickson, who was a hypnotherapist for 60 years, what they did, they studied hours and hours and hours of footage on him. And they would say, why are you looking at that lady's ankle? It's I'm watching the heartbeat to see if she's slowing down. And they'd say, why are you looking at that woman's chest? It's I'm looking at the shoulder and I'm matching my breathing with hers. So we can be in rapport spiritually and emotionally and mentally at the same time. And he would tell a story, and he was actually the inventor of persuasion in hypnosis, right? In the old days when they did hypnosis, like, look at my head.
Yeah. Swinging the pendulum, yeah.
They'd slap people on the face to get them out of it. So he would just say, you're sitting here and blinking and breathing. That's right. And that means that you're ready to change and open up your mind completely like a parachute, doesn't it? And it's like, you're like, whoa, it's very interesting. There's loads of language techniques that you can use with hypnosis and NLP. So what they discovered was, if they studied him and they took his personality out and they followed his metaphors, his storytelling, what was he actually doing there? Right. Mm-hmm. So for instance, if you've got a fairy story that you're telling to kids, it's the same 6-step process in every fairy story. You've got the victim. Mm-hmm. You've got someone else who comes in from outside to try and help them, like the fairy godmother in Cinderella. Mm-hmm. You've got then, that we think there's a resolution because we're going to be, we're going to the ball. It's going to be fabulous. Then the second thing happens. So she loses a shoe. She goes back to the beginning, and then she gets a happy ending, and finally there's a celebration. And it's the same in every fairy tale. We're teaching children how to deal with adversities through those fairy tales. That's all. So it's actually really, really good. So metaphor can be used for that, just telling stories and, talking about your past experiences. And what happens is, if you leave a sentence unfinished, the person just thinks, and you leave it to the mind to find what they're thinking. You actually leave it right in the middle. It's clever stuff. I love it, actually. I use it. I love teaching it as well. It's so much fun because people just sit there going, yeah. When I'm doing a session with someone, if I'm doing a breakthrough session with someone, I always say to my students, if their mouth is talking, nothing's happening because you're using a conscious mind. If they're sitting there going, you've got them exactly where you want, you can send the message straight over the bridge to the unconscious and change the program. Mm-hmm. So it's really, it's a way of kind of playing with the brain and playing with the mind. And the storytelling, they know the story. I know the story. People say to me, you need to know what else my husband did. I was like, I'm married 3 times. I'm good. I know what they do. I don't need that. I want to know what emotion it left with you. Where are you still hanging on to an emotional charge? Okay. So can I prove it to you?
Yes.
Okay. So think of a time, Vonne, not the PTSD one, because I'll clear that separately. Well, I'll meet you afterwards and I'll get rid of that easily. Just because it's a different technique. Okay. Think of a time when you felt really, really from your child's death.
Think of a time. Oh, see, that's when I don't even like to visit it. So
no, you don't. So literally, just think of one that wasn't so big, but it was fairly big.
Oh God.
The emotions that were there. It's anger, sadness, fear, guilt.
I don't, just give me a second, because you're putting me on the spot here. And the first, I shouldn't tell you what it is, right?
No, don't need to know.
But it's still so traumatic. But you're saying don't, like, if it's to do with her death, almost everything goes back to this one moment, like a lot of it. So if it's traumatic, can I still use it?
Yeah, why don't we do it?
Okay, I would, because, yeah.
What was the main emotion there?
Do you want me to tell you?
Yes, I want you to tell me the name of the emotion. I don't want you to know anything else.
Probably fear.
Fear and dread. Dread and fear go together. Right now.
Yeah.
So actually, let's do mind magic first to unwind the belief. Okay. It may well clear up the whole thing, but there'll be more stuff in there. So with mind magic, what I realized was, when your head is down, you're feeling down. You can associate with the amygdala and the prefrontal, the limbic brain. When you put your chin up like that and look up, you can't feel a negative emotion. So if you just look, put your head down, just feel a bit of disappointment. To tell me you're a bit disappointed. Where is it in your body?
Chest. Okay.
Look up. Choose your spot on the ceiling with your, just chin up a little bit. Just a little bit.
Okay, right there. Okay.
Perfect. Then become aware of what's on the right and the left. So soften your vision so you can see what's on the right and the left. Take a deep breath. And now try and feel that disappointment. And it's impossible because you're not in the right side part of your brain to feel it.
Yeah. I do that.
Yeah. So look at me again. What happens is, we've sent you to a different part of your brain and you don't have access to negative emotions in that part. So I'm going to mirror you. So it's your left part of your brain. It's the prefrontal cortex, and it's in touch with your nucleus accumbens, which is your reward center. So literally, when you look up and your eyes are soft peripherally, it literally takes you right out of the emotion. You can't get there.
Yeah.
You know the expression, keep your chin up.
Yes, I do.
That's why. Keep your chin up, takes you to a different part of your brain.
Yeah.
So the next bit is your left hand, this hand on you.
Yeah.
You can put it in a loose fist like that.
Yeah.
On your thigh.
On my thigh, my left thigh.
And then you're going to take your right hand forefinger and put it on the knuckle. So we're going to do it 3 times. So you're going to do it with your eyes open, but we're going to do it 3 times. So you'll have your hand on your lap, finger ready to do the pointing.
Okay.
And then we're going to get your head down and find where the fear and dread is in your body. Where is it?
Well, I kind of don't feel it.
So just imagine where it might be.
My gut, maybe my gut.
Yeah, your gut. And you'll feel something moving in there. Okay. So are you thinking of actual event when you had fear and dread?
When I had it earlier, yes, I was thinking of the event.
Okay, cool. Excellent. So think of that event and the fear and dread.
Mm-hmm.
Then look up, choose your spot on the ceiling,
Mm-hmm.
put your finger on the knuckle,
Mm-hmm.
take a deep breath. And as you release the breath, let go of the root cause of the fear and dread, preserve the positive lessons for your health and benefits. Take the finger off, head down. It will still be there in your gut waving at you. We do it 3 times. Look up again, choose your spot on the ceiling, make your vision go soft, finger on the knuckle, take a deep breath. As you release the breath, let go of the root cause of the fear and dread, preserve the positive lessons for your health and benefit. Finger off, head down. You won't feel it at all now, but it's in the recycle box. Head up again, but don't put your chin up so high this time. It's your eyes that go up, not your chin. Good, perfect. Get your spot on the ceiling, put your finger on your knuckle, take a deep breath. Let go of the root cause of the fear and dread, preserve the positive lessons for your health and benefit as you let go of the breath. You can take your finger off. Now put your head down and try and feel that fear and dread.
Yeah, it isn't there.
It's not there, it's neutral. That's how fast you can release it. Amazing, huh?
Thank you. Yes. Now
All the techniques are that simple.
Okay, so I have a question. Is this, and I do feel better when I think about that, and so I feel almost like, and this is benefit to the audience with just that quick minute thing exercise, I do feel like I can have a handle on it now and basically choose how I want to look at that event. Should I want to revisit it.
There are lots of other emotions in that event, remember. There's a package of about 50 emotions.
Yeah.
The issue is here, and I'm being personal. I'll be your student today and your client, but is like at almost 21 years, I've realized like the nervous system is, I won't say shot, but not good. My nervous system. You're
still doing the panic mode. You're still in.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that. So
you're not in parasympathetic mode still. You have to learn to get out of that mode.
Yes.
And it's there because it's your survival mechanism. Your unconscious mind thinks you're going to, oh my God, there's a life-threatening event. I'll have to make sure she knows every time. Remind her every time.
Yes. So
it's basically saying, is this safe to leave or shall?
Yes.
I almost feel like there's an intellectual component to it where I get to understand what's going on in the body and choose to release it, clear it, delete it. And so that's the point I want to make for the audience who's sitting there in fear about anything in their life. It could be money, but these are the memories. Now, I want to talk about it as a memory. Am I deleting the memory or am I deleting the emotions I've attached to that memory?
Correct. You're deleting the emotions you've attached to that memory. And the emotions that attach to that memory are formed because you made limiting beliefs before you were 7 years old. So all your beliefs, all your the beliefs you make are before you're 7 years old. Nothing happens after you're 7. It just repeats the same pattern. So you anchor it in even more. So I always go back to pre-birth preconception to clear things, the second section.
Yeah.
You look at your parents 3 months before you were conceived. I've never had anybody not remember that. Everybody knows. And I usually take them through to 6 months in the womb. How did your mother feel? And they'll say, oh my gosh, she's terrified. And I'm like, how do you feel? I'm terrified too, but I don't know what I'm terrified of because I'm picking up her stuff, right? And usually I run through it 2 times. And the second time through, I'll say, how do you feel? can you separate off your feelings from your mother's now? And they say yes. Once they've done that, they've cleared the whole of the birth trauma as well.
It's very interesting. My mother tried to end her life 5 times by the time I was 10. So that was my childhood trauma.
That's a lot of PTSD.
Yeah. So, but it could be the equivalent to yours. I mean, look at you, right? And so when you were talking about yours, and I'm just sitting there, how the hell did she manage that? And then I'll tell you my story, and you might be going, well, how the hell did she manage that?
Exactly.
So I had no foundation for anything stable, secure. My whole world was, is my mother going to be alive when I get home, until I was 10? And just as a nod, I want to say years and years and years, decades later, like about a year or 2 ago, I kind of realized, and I'm not diagnosing my mother, but the patterns were all there of what she would have been experiencing as postnatal depression due to a whole bunch of circumstances.
Yes.
But she was actually put in a mental hospital for a few months. She studied there. They got her off the drugs, for God's sake, a lot of Valium. She studied with a psychiatrist, did therapy with a psychiatrist from India. And
nice, because he would have been a lot more open than they.
Got her off the Valium, got her off the, which was making her hallucinate, and probably the reason she was, attempting to end her life a lot. And it changed her life. It changed her life. So I remember the mom that began her own business, and she was a musician and a painter and independent, and all the things that required of her to stay that independent, autonomous woman who was really so powerful and strong, but completely misdiagnosed back in the 50s. A
lot of the stuff that she went through would have been based on her own childhood, her own birth.
Yes.
Sexually abused when she was a kid.
She was.
With all sexual abuse, whenever I'm training people, I'll say, if they've been sexually abused, ask them how many times they've thought of suicide, because it's 100% guaranteed. It's even one incident can ruin your whole life.
Yeah. She was, and in the 30s, she was born in the 30s, dumped in a foster home, mother gone for 10 years. And, and we don't need to go there.
And you know what? What's interesting, Vonne, I found, is that everybo's got the same issues. We all want to belong. We all want to have hugs. We all want to be loved. We all want to be recognized. We all want to be praised and, feel close and connected.
Yeah.
And things start disappearing out of your life, or never began in your life, you desperately go searching for them, searching for something else, right?
Yes.
My sister died, I was 12.
Yeah.
My mother actually told me a year before she died, she's got cancer, she's going to die. Your dad and I won't be there for you till this next year. But after she's dead, 100% we're both going to be there 100% for you. So I went, deal. I mean, I was 11 years old at the time, sure, okay, I can do that. And then after she died, of course, I got no attention from anybody because they were grieving so much. And now I know what they went through. I can understand, right? But at the time, it was like, great. So I'm here abandoned with no resources to do anything. I used to cry myself to sleep every night. I used to put the light on all night because I was so afraid to die myself. And then about 6 months later, I heard my mother talking to a neighbor, and the neighbor said, how's Yvonne taking him? And she said, oh, she's fine. She's out playing with a friend. She's laughing. She's joking. She's fine. She's over it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you didn't even know that I sleep with the lights on every night and read romance books. So I can't, I literally got 2 hours sleep every night because I was so scared of sleeping. She knew none of it. She never even thought that I was affected by it. So.
And by the way, that obviously, I'm going to make a leap here and say you worked on deleting that file.
That took 20 years to delete that file.
20 years.
I started working on myself when I was 36. I finally deleted that file.
And okay, you're making another fabulous point. This doesn't happen overnight. So what I want to, just going back to the little exercise we did with me. And by the way, I just want to say for the audience and you, I felt a little buzzing there for a few minutes afterwards, a little vibration in my chest. And now that's gone and that's settled.
It's settled now.
So I want to go back. That was a very specific technique that we did, and the audience tuned into or watched that. So is this something that we can practice whenever that trigger comes or that memory comes, and eventually we clear it or delete it?
It's called Mind Magic. I was nominated for a Visionary Award for it, so it's an NLP technique.
Yeah.
breathing and breath and all the rest of it. If
Okay.
you go to YouTube, Yvonne Oswald Mind Magic, it'll
Yep.
take straight to the YouTube. video.
Okay. So
And
that's
it's
the
also in the book.
Yes, exactly. So what I want to get across is in that technique. And when people do this and go to your YouTube and follow along, I have to tell you, I actually did see you do that on the Global Guru. And I tried it for, along with you a little bit, but now you were very specific on me, actually working with something.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, so when triggers come up, or we feel sadness at certain times of the year, birthdays, death anniversaries, Mother's Day. Oh God, pick a month, pick a day, pick a week. I learned to just, try to train myself without getting rid of the PTSD, not to react to triggers. And so it is true that they've lessened over the years, but that doesn't mean the file's deleted.
It's still there. They'll say to me, they'll send me the 3 pages. And
Yeah.
they'll say, oh, yeah, well, I forgot to tell you, I tried to commit suicide when I was 25, but I'm over it now. It's fine. And I'm like, it's still there waiting to come up the next time you get laid off or you have a divorce or something else happens.
Yeah.
Like a volcano coming up.
Well, for sure, because listen, we're culturally taught to just ignore our emotions or get rid of them or manage them quickly so that we won't be seen as nutcases.
Yes, exactly. I know. And your emotions are your survival mechanism. You can't get rid of them. They're always going to happen. And here's the thing, Vonne, you'll get new emotions coming up at any time, right? Because you'll have different experiences that you've experienced before.
Right.
So what I aim for in all my teachings and all my trainings and therapists is I want to do something which will work for everybody, not just cherry picking, not just when did this event and when did this event. Oh my God, how many have you got, right? It's actually going to root cause and clearing it from the bottom up so that literally it's one size fits all.
Yes.
I apply the same techniques for everybody. I invented a 4-hour breakthrough blueprint where you send me the pages. I clear all the limiting beliefs first. We unwind the limiting beliefs. Then we clear the negative emotions, and then we do hypnosis at the end to lock it in.
So can you explain for the audience, like there are however many emotions there are, dozens, 100, I don't know. A therapist once gave me a list of emotions and
It's about 100.
Right. And then of the 100
emotions is only about 15.
I was gonna just say, you see, we're twin minds. That was gonna be the next thing. And I was gonna say, well, where's the positive emotions on this sheet? I've still got that sheet, and so there's 15. I would have guessed 8 to 10. And so people, this is how many toxic emotions we're basically living with on a daily grind.
And your thoughts are 80% negative.
80%. Okay.
80
I'm writing this down.
Negative and only like 20 to 15 to 20 positive. And they're repeatable about 90% every single day. I'd like to lower it to everybody so that everybody's about 60%. 60% is livable. That's
very important. So when I do the book and those that choose to work privately with you, how do they contact you to do that?
They can do WhatsApp. Oh. I love WhatsApp. It's like I get 200 emails a day, so you may get lost in the emails. So what I do is WhatsApp. And I'll give the number is 416-494-2233. It's a Canadian number. Usually just text me.
And say whatever.
I'd like to hear more about it or send me information.
Okay.
Email, and I'll send you the information.
Oh, okay. That's perfect. So you can work with individuals. That's where they would send you the story and you clear, and then you do all that process on their story. I just want to clear this up before we kind of round this out, Dr. Yvonne. So we all have our same stories. I'm not going to even repeat the stats. We're all total messes. Anyway.
And there's no such thing as a functional family. Every family is dysfunctional. So, it's like.
Yeah. So you don't have to hide it, right?
If you choose the family. I do believe that. I've heard it so many times.
That you choose your family?
You choose the parents.
Yeah. 100%. And I was going to say to you earlier, just as a little side note, very interesting. You chose a family who would include bereaved parents, a loss of a sibling with, did you say cancer?
Yeah.
Did she have, your sister had cancer? And then you grow up and end up becoming a bereaved mom with a daughter who had cancer. And while that may not have been the cause, you see, I grew up in a family where there were multiple suicide attempts.
Yeah.
Okay. And then my daughter dies by suicide.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, in the physical, therapists and others, culturally, people in general would be very, very, very quick to make the genetic, connection and, it's from the family and all the rest of it. But if you're spiritual and you believe in contracts, I look at it as, holy crap, all of that. My mom, my early childhood set me up for the life I ultimately ended up living.
I do a lot. I always do a little numerology reading before I do anything, whether I'm doing therapy or whether I'm doing readings or whatever I'm doing.
Yeah.
I want to know that person's life purpose from the numerology, from your dad to the. Yeah. Once you know the purpose, I'll say, this is perfect. You chose the perfect parents then, huh? Yeah. I knew that I had a big job this lifetime because I did.
Yes,
when I did my master's hypnosis, we went back to the previous lifetime, and I was not a nice person. And I remember leaving the body. I was a Nazi nurse, and I've always seen this lady. She was like short, fat, and dumpy, and she had dark brown eyes. And I was like, and I always used to wish that lifetime that I was blonde and blue eyes. And my father only sexually abused the two blondes and blue eyes in the family. He didn't touch the two dark haired girls. So it was very interesting. And I said to, when I died, I said, well, I think I did a good job, didn't I? And the lady who I was talking to, she said, do you want to experience it? I'm like, sure. And she put me in the body of 889 boys who had been mean to at their war front of the war. And I was like, it was by far one of the worst experiences I've ever had in my life. And she said, see, you've got a lot of lifetimes to pay for that. I said, I'm going to do it in one. She said, no, you can't do it in one. She said, no, you can't do it in one. It's going to take you a long time to clear this one. I'm like, nope, I'm doing it in one. Still been very bombastic. And she said, can I show you? And she showed me the first 13 years. And I was saying, I don't know if I can go through that. I did not realize it was an actual program that I'd signed up for. Mm-hmm. And it was very interesting that looking back, I'm glad now that I chose those parents, because I would not be the person I am today. I would not be the great therapist. I would not be able to write this book for everybody. And that's the key, is I wanted a book that everybody could read, that everybody could use, that literally they could teach kids the little twirl and flip, for instance. It's so simple. It takes 2 minutes to clear.
Wow. Yeah. Can you imagine? Can you imagine starting with this from, well, yes, you can, but I mean, in the appropriate settings, but, and I don't know how. That's the problem, is I don't know how it would reach children, worldwide or in general in North America or wherever.
It starts with
it has to be the parents. Like,
the kids were great. The kids were always great. The parents were the people who caused all the issues.
Kids hide stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they hide it because they're scared of the disapproval of the parents. And, parents think, you don't respect me. You can't be angry at me. Why do you put the anger? You put it in your body and you end up hating yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, go beat a pillow. I used to tell my daughter, she slammed the door, and I'd say, you get right back here and slam that much more than that. You can do much better than that. Slam it more. And she'd slam it again. And I'd say, that wasn't good enough. Come back, slam it again. She'd finally say, I feel better now. And I'm like, thank you. And when she was like 8, she slammed the door and it fell off the hinges.
Oh,
and it was she and I were on the floor laughing. It was so funny.
Yeah.
And my ex-husband stood there and I don't think that's very funny. I thought,
yeah.
No, and she'd say, you're the worst parent in the world, as we always get that. And I go, thank you, I got a silver medal.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, anyway, I want to acknowledge that. Awesome. I think that's great. One of the things I can't stand is when people say kids are resilient. And I always say, are you kidding? They grow up into the adults we are. And so, remember that, audience. So anybody who's tucking away their emotions, lying to themselves about certain things, I will say, if anyone's out there that, has had the perfect childhood, okay, great for you. Maybe it was wonderful. I know your eyes are like popping out of your head.
I've had people like that. And then when they get into it, they go, I really didn't have a good childhood, did I?
See, you would know. You work with them. I'm just making a pretty big assumption here. So we all can benefit from working on our stuff. I just have to clarify before we round this out now. So I'm trying to understand it in my mind. It's not, so we talked a little bit ago, there's 100 emotions and around 15 of them are positive. Okay. So when we're dealing with NLP and working with the exercise and others that we're going to find in your book, and we're really dedicated to this. And by the way, folks, it's going to be a discipline. If you're serious about working on yourself, you're going to have to be disciplined enough to do it, number one. But what I'm saying is, so it's not that we're trying to delete the emotion and it will never come back. Are we trying to delete
the emotions that never comes back?
Well, how's that possible? Because then I would be deleting and I'd have basically nothing but 15 positive emotions. Or is that what you're trying?
Every day you're going to get negative emotions coming.
Okay. That's what I mean.
Big, heavy charge that they would have had otherwise.
Okay.
To a wedding and someone saying, oh, you look nice today. You always got mother's attention far more than I did. Whoa, there's like volcanoes go up at weddings. It's supposed to be a happy event. And all the 3-year-olds come out to play. And the reason for that is you make limiting beliefs and decisions when you're a kid. Mm-hmm. And those, it becomes a part. It splits off from the whole. Mm-hmm. So I believe all therapy is bringing the parts back home.
Oh, okay.
What happens is, when John is playing with his little truck and his sister comes and snatches it away. And he just gives her a smack. And of course, then she's crying. And then mother comes in and says, Johnny, you're making sister cry. Well, she stole my truck. Well, you've got to learn to share your toys. You're a big boy now. You can't cry. You big boys don't cry. And you have to look after your little sister. She's only 2. Just be careful and make sure. And, you need to really look after girls. And he's forming, limiting beliefs. I'm not good enough. I can't have anything of my own.
Yeah.
I'm not to cry. And that's repeated 150,000 times before you're 7.
Yeah. Okay. So I just want to be clear and bear with me here as I'm trying to understand this. So the emotions are always going to come back every day. We're flooded. So folks, it's not like I'm thinking, what? I'm only going to have positive emotions? No.
Good luck with that one.
Okay, fine. Well, I'll tell you, for some people in a spiritual practice, and I've been at this since the early 80s, okay, they used to teach that kind of like.
I know they did. They thought they could live in this wonderful.
Yeah, a bubble. Yes. Yeah. So that's not the goal.
You are going to get pissed off. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to get angry. You're going to get sad. And the words, something like pissed off, it's a low energy word. And I'm very conscious about the words I use. Yeah. It's just the name of the file, the name of the document in the file folder.
Okay.
If you can't, when I'm clearing things, if I say, how do you feel about that? Oh, well, I hate him. Yeah. I'm not going to correct them and say, well, you don't like them very much. That's not the same file folder. Hated is a whole file folder by itself.
Mm.
If you name the emotion as it stands in their head, then you can clear it.
This is a really good example. So for someone, let's just take this example, and then I'm going to turn quickly to limiting beliefs and then your resources, which we've already talked about, but then we'll round it out. But I really want to be clear so I don't hang up and go, what? Did I get that? No, I need to get this. So let's say I hate him, all right? And somebody wants to clear that. Is that the story, I hate him, and the charge, the electrical charge to the energy of the emotion of hate?
You hate yourself because you can't feel anything for someone else that you don't have for yourself. That's really easy to clear. That's a simple one.
And is the charge, I hate him or I hate me, what we're giving to feed that life, is that the electrical charge to the emotion? And that's what we're clearing related to that story.
Yes, and it doesn't just relate to that story; it relates to every person,
to everything.
Before you were 7.
So, in that situation, just before we round this out, in that situation, if I want to clear, get rid of that file. Really, the file I'm working on to get rid of is I hate myself.
Yes, and you can use the mind magic, release the root cause of hating myself, preserve the positive lessons for health and benefit. That clears it. A load of the other techniques clear it. So there are 2 things your unconscious mind needs to hear to have to follow your instructions. Number 1, get to the root cause and clear it. Right. Number 2, preserve the positive lessons from that. Once it knows preserving the positive lessons, it's quite happy to let the other bit go.
Yes.
And the reaction always happens that you release the reaction. So you have a good cry or you have a good yell.
Yeah.
If you bang your foot on a chair or on a table, saying, oh my gosh, that really didn't feel very good, isn't going to do anything.
No.
If you just say,
Yeah. Yeah.
it actually works. The unconscious mind goes, what? Oh, I better go down and heal that then. You need you need to use
That-
the both in your head and let them out.
Yeah.
Then you go back and say, it really didn't feel good.
Okay, that's a good that's kind of a good example though. So for some of us who like swear, you know, when we get mad, I'm like, listen, if I really want to say the F word and I change it to flip or frog, really, it doesn't feel as good. I want to get that F word out, you know.
Want the word out. You want.
I want it out.
So is that in and of itself kind of clearing the charge to that emotion?
It's making the unconscious mind take notice, because when you use a command inflection in your voice, the unconscious mind actually has to listen. It's a survival mechanism. So, you know, if a child's got a knife in its hand and you say, put it down, it goes like this and pulls it back. Yeah. You say, darling, give me that. Or you might try and give it something else or give it a toy or something. But if it holds it, you don't want it to hold the knife, right? So if you just say, drop it, you get the startle response and immediately the knife will be dropped. If you just do a command inflection that is an essential, the unconscious mind comes in, takes over and says, this is dangerous, stop.
Okay.
And then you say, look at this, I've got a beautiful thing they can look at. It's pretty. Then you distract them. Okay. So it's very important to know how the unconscious mind works. It's a servo mechanism.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any thoughts of its own. It's just like the internet.
Okay. So your book, No More Therapists, Your Brain Has the Answer, that will teach us all about this. It will give us the background to understanding the unconscious versus the conscious.
Yes.
Folks, we're giving you the surface here. I just want to close out with like you've made it very clear for me. So I'll get more, obviously, from the book. But what I want to get across to people is when we undertake this work, we are not trying to have overnight change necessarily, but some things can be cleared very quickly and never come back, such as I hate myself. I would think at this point, like, okay, I'll just be honest. I maybe dealt with that for years and years and years and years after the death of my daughter. Who doesn't as a bereaved parent? And other people for various reasons blame themselves for whatever's happened to them, which is not the same as accepting responsibility. You can still blame yourself for a bunch of crap, even though you realize it was a soul contract, but that's not what we're talking about today. Anywho's, I definitely believe there are some things we can clear fairly quickly, depending what stage we're at with that trigger, that electrical charge. I'll call it an electrical charge. Is that true?
Electricity is not good or bad. It's just an energy. It's how you use it.
An energy. So I might frame that another way. The energy I've attached to that emotion that I'm stuck in. I know there are some things I'm just tired of the story and I don't want that story anymore. And I know when I'm ready, I can get rid of that and clear that in seconds or minutes.
Oh, Vonne, I've done it for 40 years. You could put anybody in front of me right now and I can clear it. Even OCD, which is one of the least easy things to clear.
But ultimately, don't they have to want to have it cleared? Because even with something like OCD, don't they have to be so tired of it? They don't really want it. They literally don't want it anymore.
It becomes a secondary gain. I mean, a lot of people with OCD do it because they get lots of attention from it.
Really?
Yes. I had a lady in Florida. She had 126 OCD behaviors. I got it down to 3. And she finally said, I don't want to see you anymore. I only saw her twice. And she said, I don't want to see you again. I'm like, why? She said, because I'm quite happy having these 3. I'm like, what? Okay. And then there was an anorexic girl who said the same thing. She said, your work is working. She said, and I can't not be anorexic, or else my parents will be divorced. She was 22. She'd never been to school because she got anorexia when she was 11. They were separating and they were back together. So she was using the anorexia as like a tool to keep parents together. And she just said, it's working. She said, I'm eating again. She said, I don't want to do this. She said, it's not going to work. Wow. So it's both secondary gain. Yeah. That what to give up by releasing that behavior is much more than what they'll gain, they think.
Yeah. There's one thing I want to close this off on. It's when you were talking about in something I read, and just give me a second. It's to do with anger is the worst emotion, right?
And anger and fear are the two top dog emotions.
Anger and fear. So
It's your fight and flight mechanism, right? Then if it's in anger and fear as well, remember, it's the action-oriented emotions. There's anger and fear are the two energized emotions.
Yeah.
You move it. You can get so angry that your husband is beating you up and then he's on to the children that you leave him. But if you didn't have the anger there, you'd be a victim your whole life and so were the kids, right? So it's a very useful emotion sometimes, and same kind of trigger. Sadness and guilt are depleting emotions, so they make you go into a very like neutral, like no man's land.
Yeah.
It's they're not fun emotions to have.
But ultimately, when we want to get rid of these negative charges that are ruining our life, like what are the top positive emotions that you want to live in your personal life?
Love, excitement, freedom, joy, connection, happiness.
Yeah.
There's only about half a dozen.
So the point I want to make, so you say that anger is the top dog emotion. So I want to rephrase it. So for people to think about taking on this work, which I would encourage anyone to take on, everyone to take on, do you agree or believe that it is or can be it should be a daily practice as things come up, but that it's a journey we go on to get to every day to maintain ourselves in those positive emotions that you just mentioned, which I've already forgotten, but love, joy.
I wake up in the morning, Vonne.
Yeah.
Yvonne.
You can call me Vonne.
I wake up in the morning and I lie there and I think, how do I feel? And if I feel good, I'll make myself a cup of tea. If I don't feel good, I'll lie there and think, okay, what emotion is here? Okay, I'll clear it and I'll clear another. And I usually go for a pee and then I sit in the toilet, clear the emotion with Mind Magic.
Yeah.
And then literally I get to neutral, then I can do the day and then find happiness.
Yeah.
So you've got to learn how to get to neutral. That's the biggest point is you've got that tipping point. You got a bit annoyed, then you get really, really annoyed, then you get really angry. By that time we're in tsunami.
Right.
And you give many methods or techniques for clearing in the book.
Same thing. You can use any of the methods, they all work with the same thing. But if you can literally get there and then come back, get there and come back, get there and come back, then you're always centered. Whereas if you let it keep going, it's going to remember all the stuff you checked, all the stuff from your genetics. It's going to all come up like a tsunami.
But your cup of tea thing, that when you wake up, the more you wake up and choose to make a cup of tea and get up and have a wonderful, beautiful day, more often than not, that's going to be the way you wake up and choose to do things. Almost, doesn't it become a habit?
It becomes a habit. It's a 21-day program, and it takes 21 days to change the rewire the brain. And you can rewire the brain positively just as well as you can rewire it negatively. So yes, it works brilliantly that way.
Very good point. Okay, I have to round this out with just one last thing. Whatever would you like to say to people about limiting beliefs? We talked a lot about the emotional piece of it, but limiting beliefs, how do they fit in with these emotions and electrical charges, energy? The number one thing people can start to do, number one or two things they can start to do to even accept they have them, okay? And recognize them.
You don't even feel you've got limiting beliefs. You've got negative emotions because you can feel them. And then it's like you can touch light, but you can't touch a shadow because it's just an atom.
Yes.
With an emotion, it's not real, but it certainly feels real and you can clear it.
Yeah.
What happens with the beliefs is that before you're 7 years old, you don't have sufficient information to make a clear judgment on what's happening. So, or a parent dies, or the other day her dog, this 4-year-old threw a ball and the dog was run over, and she was absolutely devastated.
Mm-hmm.
And I explained to her maybe the dog saved her life, and she was like, "What?" I said, "Because you would have run after the ball, wouldn't you?" And she was like, "Oh, I never thought of that," and it totally reframed it for her, right? So she was that kind of thing, but she was, I don't know how old she is now, but she was reliving it every day, so much so that she was protecting every animal she came across. It turned into phobia. And literally what happens with those beliefs is the belief is I have to make sure that every animal is safe.
Mm-hmm.
But she just made that belief at 4 years old, and once it's locked in like that, and it was attached to a traumatic event, it's locked in, and it's locked in for life unless you change it, right? So when those beliefs are made, And it's like someone saying, "Oh, you're a bad girl." Why wouldn't you just say that behavior is not very nice?
Mm-hmm.
Why do we have to couch it in such negative terms?
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is when the beliefs are made, there's insufficient information for that child to realize. You can know from now, oh my gosh, I was so young, I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Sexual abuse is the obvious one. They tell the kid they must have been leading the guy on. And you're 10 years old. How can you lead a guy on when you're 10 years old? That's not possible.
Yeah.
Never, such a nice guy. He would never do anything like that. We don't believe you. So, it gets hidden.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's important to know about that is that there's a lot of things we say and do, but it all comes from childhood. To change it, we have to clear away the limiting belief. We have to unwind the belief.
Mm-hmm.
So the only reason you know there's a belief there is something's not working in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see the trees are moving today. There's a huge, great big windstorm. It's actually fun to watch. I can see the trees moving outside. I know that there's something moving them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't, it's obviously the wind, but I can't see the wind.
Yeah.
Same limiting belief. If you want to be healthy and you're not healthy, you've made some limiting beliefs somewhere. If you want a
Mm-hmm.
relationship, you've not got a decent relationship, you're
Mm-hmm.
carrying back from your past, which is stopping you having that. If you want to have money, if there's something from your past that's made sure you sabotage yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a belief when you made a decision which became a belief that was made with insufficient information. So in NLP, we said there's no such thing as failure. There's only insufficient information.
I love that, folks. If you don't have something yet in your life, you just don't have all the information yet.
Exactly.
And is this where, really briefly, that we can start to think about options and solutions? And that's what starts to change our thinking about we can maybe have what we think we can't.
The solution is, what are they doing well that I can copy?
Yeah.
NLP is all about modeling.
Yeah.
So behavior, and you'll get the same results. You just don't have enough information yet.
Yeah. I do want to throw in, though, for people like that, because also really check in with yourself, folks, and go on a little bit of a spiritual journey here. Really be curious about why you came here to experience what you're experiencing. When you just said it's NLP is modeling behavior and what somebody else has, you can have it too. Well, maybe, but maybe not if you don't really want it. So don't you think the piece to that is really be clear about what you want in life, And
that aligns with your values. What's most important to you in life? If you can say what's important. So one of the exercises in the book, actually, Vonne, is I'll say, if I gave you $1 million today, what would you do with it?
Oh, yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
You've got now, it's gone to 5 million. What will you spend it on? And they go,
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't know. Yeah.
It turns into $1 billion and they just go completely blank. That means they have no goals set in life. If you don't know what you could do with $1 billion, you're not aligned with your values.
Exactly. And I actually learned that way back in 1983, 1984, way back. And there was a guy that had something called the New Age Center. And this was all in the days of Shirley MacLaine and, Shakti Gawain and all of that. And he asked that question. But back then, $1 million sounded like a lot of money. Today, it doesn't. But anyway, and no one in the class could answer what they would do with the $1 million.
Because
this is back
no
in
idea about getting the big picture and what I'm
Right.
to do.
But go ahead.
We have our own personal development to do.
Yeah.
And we have, once we've developed ourselves, we then have to pass that information on to others. So we've got a group development with a group soul.
Yeah.
And it's personal development ourselves.
Yeah. And I learned from that. I never forgot it. And I think that's what kept me on track for all of my life to really understand, because it's very easy to get into this competitive, that's how we're wired, right? Competitive framework. I need to have that. I want that flashy car. I want to do the travel. I want this, that, and the other. And in the end, you really, really don't want that. And by the way, I'll say the same about relationships for all of you who are out there really, really thinking like you want someone in your life, and maybe you don't if you're still single.
Right now, I would like a part-time husband. That'd be fine. Weekends to go out and, enjoy. And then during the week, don't have to bother with him.
But I believe if you really wanted one, you would manifest, you would create this person into your life.
I don't know. It's like, I literally came to a place where there's no chance of finding a husband here. It's like,
so all I'm going to say about that, folks, is timing is everything. You can still have what you want. And all of these resources that you're sharing today, Dr. Yvonne, and share online so generously. Thank you for that. People,
I'm very, very happy that I wrote this book because it's it's a white goes with everything book. You can dip into it. You can do the whole plan. You can just choose an occasional thing out of it. And I'm very, very pleased I wrote it.
I'm so excited to have met you, and someone introduced us, Linda, and thank you. And so I'm really, really so grateful to have met you. Your website is globalwelcome.com.
Well, GLOBAL welcome.com.
Yes, I'm going to have the link in the show notes, folks. I'm going to put the link to your YouTube channel also. And from there, also, I got your book on Amazon, so all you need to do is plug in
Kindle. It's a Kindle, by the way. Remember, so
Kindle right now.
So with Kindle, you can join for free for 30 days, get the book, and download it.
Yeah,
and you can cancel the Kindle or keep it on if you want to pay for it.
Yeah. Ever for thrifty with your money there.
I'm teasing you. Too many things on my PayPal. I go, what am I paying for every month that I'm not using?
Yeah. Anyway, I did search you on Amazon, got it on Kindle. I'm part of Kindle Unlimited, so the library. So I have it in my library. And folks, just find it. But other than that, Dr. Yvonne, everybody can get what they need for your resources from globalwelcome.com. You direct people. It's a lovely website, and you can direct people there to all of the classes you teach and everything else going on there, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm teaching a class coming up in June the 20th. I'm going to do a self-hypnosis day.
Oh, yes.
Hypnosis.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm going to do, towards the end of the year, about October, every Saturday in October, I'm going to be teaching a hypnosis certification so you can actually get a job being a hypnotherapist, and I'm teaching the 9 rapid release codes during that.
Okay. Now, by the way, this episode is airing. We're recording a little bit before, but airing on June 10th. So folks, you'll be able to hear this and join up. So if we want to join your hypnosis class on June 20th, how would we join that?
The easiest way is actually to go to the website, and it says, click here for your free sunshine thinking MP3. So it's a really lovely hypnosis meditation.
Okay.
And you listen to it for free. And when you put your email in, it gets straight onto my newsletter list.
Are you going to be sending the link for June 20th on your newsletter?
Yes.
It sounds amazing. Thank you. Did you cover? Well, I covered everything and more I wanted.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh my God. I just want to remind people, Dr. Yvonne's message is we are not trying to get rid of grief. We're trying to live with grief. All of the emotions that come up with this, everything we've talked about today is sure to help you. It helped me. You saw it live or heard it live on this show.
Every file that comes up on it,
we'll delete it.
Delete it to subscribes.
So thank you for the contribution you're making to the world, Dr. Yvonne. I mean that. Thank you so much for this contribution. It's wonderful and beautiful.
Everybody who's watching, I really appreciate it.
Yes, so glad to have had you on the show.
There are methods. You're not broken. You're already beautiful. We just need to clear the clouds above your head. That's it.
Oh, okay. I'm going to start recording. Thank you.